What's up, guys? Dirk here from Intelligent Cryptocurrency. Today it is January the 8th. It's Friday. Bitcoin is trading at $41,290. How insane is that? Okay, $41,000 for one BTC. Just 6 years ago, it was trading for around $200 in early 2015. Now it is trading at 40,000. And what this means also is if you had bought the very top in 2017 at almost 20K, you would be up more than double your money if you had just held on. It's the same thing. If you had bought the very top in 2013 at around $1,100, it ended up going to 20K the next cycle. You bought the 20K top, now it's over at 40K. So what I want to do in this video specifically is I want to issue a warning, also just to remind you to be careful of being too greedy, okay? I can't give you financial advice, but with cryptocurrencies, it is very volatile. It goes up like crazy, but at the same time, when it flips around, it goes down like crazy. Paper profits don't mean anything until you've realized them. So you can be up hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on paper. It looks nice in your app. You can get excited thinking about how you're going to spend it. But if you don't cash that out and the market drops back 50, 60, 70, 80%, well, then all your gains are gone and you can't spend those gains, okay? Because they've disappeared. So please be careful, all right? Have a strategy. Remove your initial capital at some point. Take profits at some point. Sure, you might not catch the very top, but nobody catches the top, okay? That is a pure factor of luck if you manage to sell the top. The whole point is you just want to increase your gains, and whatever your strategy is, whether it's short term and you're looking to cash out the profits, or whether you're hodling forever and just going to see if Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million and more in the future, which who knows may end up happening, just be sure to have a strategy and actually be prepared for what if. And a question that you got to ask yourself always is, if this were to drop, if this were the top right now, this video, 41,000, if this were the top and it ends up dropping back to 20,000 or 15 or $10,000, and whatever your action is, would you be happy with it or would you regret it, right? So obviously you'd want to sell the very top, right? But I'm just saying, like, would you regret not selling and watching your portfolio drop by 50, 60, 70%? Or would you regret if you did sell or you reduced your position and it keeps going to $50,000 or $100,000, right? So you have to weigh off those two options for yourself. I can't tell you what to do. Obviously, if you are overextended, if you've invested more than you can afford to lose, crypto is volatile, okay? Make your own decisions. I just want to warn you, if you're watching this right now, just greed and fear are very powerful emotions. They can override your logic and cause you to make bad decisions. So whatever it is that you do decide, right, keep in mind, if you cash out and you increase your profits, your realized gains that you can go and spend or reinvest or do whatever you want with it, those are then risk-free. If you keep your money in the market, you are at risk if the market drops. So please be smart, be cautious, see a financial advisor if you have to. Can't tell you what to do, but that is my opinion that I'm sharing with you here, and just be cautious, okay? So what I want to do for the rest of this video is give you two possible scenarios also to look at what lies ahead, because Bitcoin, okay, it's at $41,000. The chart looks insane. It looks parabolic. I've also shown you the log scale before where it does not look parabolic, and who knows, it could potentially go to $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 per Bitcoin, right? If what is happening in the world right now, if institutions are piling in, and tens of millions or hundreds of millions of regular people are starting to buy some Bitcoin, right? The infrastructure has increased dramatically since 2017. I'm seeing, CZ Binance tweeting there's so much traffic. Other exchanges are saying, hey, they're at capacity, they can't handle it. I think there's a real FOMO right now of people, huge amounts of people around the world who are getting interested in crypto, who are trying to sign up to exchanges, get verified, deposit money. I'm seeing it personally with people that I talk to wanting to put in $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 at a time over the past week or 2 weeks, still planning to do that. And it just does look like there is the beginning of retail FOMO. Now, the problem with these parabolic moves and these cycles is that it never really happens in the way that you think it's going to happen, right? It's going to take longer than you think. It's going to take shorter than you think. It's going to go higher than you think. It's going to go lower than you think, right? So there's no way that you can accurately know what's going to happen, which is, of course, very, very important. It's logical, too, because if someone knew exactly what was going to happen, they'd be a billionaire or a trillionaire, right? So all that you can do is probabilities, follow awesome channels like this one. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell so that you can get other people's experience and insights and just take all that info, put it together and help it to make your own decision based on all of that, right? So what we're doing is we're looking at the past cycles, because that is all that we have to go by in terms of Bitcoin. So we had 2 cycles, one that peaked in November of 2013, one that peaked in December of 2017, and now we're in 2021. So the question is, do we repeat that cycle? Do we peak at the end of this year? Or do we peak earlier? Or do we peak later? What happens in between? Obviously, there's a whole lot of stuff going on fundamentally in the world that is completely different to 4 years ago. The amount of fiat currency that's been printed, the stimulus, the debt that's been created in 2020 alone is insane. Obviously, that has a negative effect on the purchasing power of fiat. There's also enormous progress that has been made in terms of compliancy. There's the possibility for institutions to invest now in a safe and compliant way with custodian, insurance, all that kind of stuff, right? So the market is dramatically different. And like I've been saying in these videos, if you've been following the channel, you know, with like MicroStrategy investing $1 billion, we had Square, we had Mass Mutual, tens of millions, hundreds of millions being invested in Bitcoin. It is maybe starting to signal to all those other hundreds of thousands of companies around the world, CEOs, funds, etc., that Bitcoin might actually be a good hedge with 1 or 2 or single-digit percentages of their treasuries or funds or portfolios. And that is why JP Morgan also said, you know, we could see hundreds of billions of dollars flow into Bitcoin. Now, if that happens, the price can continue to go sky high. And what we're seeing here, where it's looking so parabolic, might end up looking like a little blip in the big picture. You can see over here. So this is a daily chart, but let me see how far back I can go. Okay, guys, so what we have here, we have a weekly chart, right? Going back on Bitcoin all the way to 2012. This little blip that you see over here, that was the crazy parabolic high of 2013. What does it look like in comparison right now? And if we're looking at the 2017 run, which was insanely parabolic at the time, look where we are now, right? So because Bitcoin has this limited scarcity, 21 million Bitcoin that there will ever be, and if this is really true, and we're going to see fortunes flood into Bitcoin, and hundreds of millions of people are going to adopt that and own some BTC, even if it's only a few Satoshis worth, what do you think that's going to do? Who knows how high it can go? So that's why we change it to the log scale. And when we change it to the log scale, as you can see over here, let me draw this, get rid of this channel over here. So you can see over here, if we draw this as a channel, it really doesn't look crazy parabolic just yet like we're seeing on the daily. And if this continues going to the top here, remember this is a log scale, which is very different to a linear scale in terms of visually how it looks. And if we go to this top here, look here, that's $100,000, maybe 120, 160,000, something like that. And you can see that is what happened in 2013. We went from here, went to the middle, pulled back down, and went to the top of the channel, right? Same thing here. We went to the middle, had a little bit of a correction here, went over the middle, pulled back to the middle, and then we launched to over there. So now we have gone to the middle. We're actually just over the middle. Maybe we go a little bit higher, pull back, consolidate on this middle line over here, and then we could continue this cycle to the top of it. And if that cycle repeats, so if we're going to peak somewhere at the end of this year, that means we could potentially still have, 10, 11 months left before this cycle peaks, which would give it a huge amount of time, which could see us into the 6 figures. But at the same time, guys, this could drop back 20, 30, 40, 50% at any moment, right? So you have to be prepared for it. Yes, it could go straight to 50K. It could also drop to 30K or 25 or 20K. So that's why I say you want to make your own decisions based on this and you want to plan, right? In my opinion, I think it's better to be safe and cautious, lock in profits that you know that you have, that you can spend or reinvest, rather than, taking a gamble with huge amounts of money, whether or not it will continue going up or not, right? That's always the key. Only invest what you can afford to lose. Now, let's just have a bit of a look over here, because one thing I want to show you guys too is the halving cycle, and let's look at the 2 options that we have for potentially applying that to this cycle. Okay guys, so these vertical lines are roughly the previous halvings, okay, in November 2012, July 2016, and the most recent one that we had in May of last year. So the 2013 one was a shorter cycle, as you can see over here. It lasted for approximately a year, so roughly, right, give or take. So about a year from that halving, right? So seeing that the halving was in May last year, well then if that cycle were to repeat and we're getting a steeper cycle like this, like 2013, well then quite simply we would apply that and it would very easily just be around May, where is it, somewhere around here, May 2021, which gives us 4 to 5 months if the shorter cycle repeats. So if it just goes crazy, it goes insanely parabolic, just like this one, this ascent was much steeper, well then we might be looking at somewhere in May, right? But the 2017 cycle was longer. It was about 18 months. So you can see from July all the way up to about December 2017. So that was about 520-ish days. Roughly, it's a little bit more. I think 526 if I remember correctly. But 526 days. So imagine we project that forward and we get a repeat of the 2017 cycle. Well, then at 520 days, what are we looking at? Let's see over here. So roughly about October, right? So that gives us about 10 months, maybe 11 months. And who knows, you know, if this one is shorter and each cycle takes longer, then we might even be looking at more than that, and we might even be looking at 2022. So that is the question. What is going to happen? Nobody knows, right? So you have to stay flexible with this and consider the possibilities. Could it be done here at 41,000? Absolutely. In my opinion, unlikely. But I think it could actually go further. We should still have several weeks, several months to go on the short end. So if the cycle is going to top out like 2013, somewhere in April or May or June, that is a possibility. But it is also possible that this just keeps going until October or November. So based on how the price action is looking in the news and the sentiment and everything together, combining that with knowledge of the previous two cycles, when we get to those time frames somewhere between April and October and things start getting too crazy, well, that gives you more information to be able to make a decision of whether or not you should take profits or get out of the market or make changes to your strategy or something like that. So obviously I have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't give you financial advice, but this is basically everything that I've seen here. And this is what I'm going to be watching personally. And as time develops, as we go on over the next few weeks and few months, I'm going to continue to share my opinion here on what I think is happening and where we could potentially be heading. And also, I think we still have an enormous alt season ahead of us. Okay, we're still seeing Bitcoin pump. Yes, we're seeing Ethereum is almost back at the all-time high. Okay, it's got like less than $200 to go. It's back at the all-time high. But it is completely possible that Ethereum goes to $5, $10, maybe even $20,000. Okay, Raul Pell, he just put on Twitter recently that he thinks Ethereum could go to $20,000. He's got a prediction for Bitcoin to go to $1 million. So who knows? Okay, we've seen in the previous cycle, we saw Bitcoin go from $200 to $20,000. So why can't Ethereum go from $200 to $20,000 in this next cycle where there is an insane amount of institutional investment, more infrastructure, more capacity, more retail FOMO, all that kind of stuff. So obviously, if Ethereum goes to $10,000 or $20,000, what do you think that's going to do for altcoins if altcoins repeat in the same way as 2017 with the whole market so much bigger, right? We're talking about some serious, insane potential returns for altcoins, 30, 50, 100x or more, and that is some life-changing potential. But of course, it is risky and you have to be positioned ahead of time. So hopefully you're following this channel. Subscribe if you haven't done so, because I just keep making these videos, sharing this info with you as much as possible. Smash the like button, turn it blue, leave a comment with your thoughts. Where do you think we're going to peak out? Do you think it's going to be more like the 2013 cycle where it's, you know, April, May? Or do you think it's going to be more like 2017 where it's going to be October, November? Or do you think it's going to go even longer than that and continue running for until 2022? Who knows, right? So would love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments. Subscribe, turn the like button blue, and I will see you in the next video. Now guys, you probably know, if you've been following the channel here, I did a promotion in November for Black Friday and for the holiday special offer as a lifetime access special offer for intelligent cryptocurrency where you could join for a one-time fee, no future renewals. I closed that, as I said I did, on the 31st of December at midnight. People who joined us, they're all in, trying to take care of them as best as I can in the chat groups, answer DMs, all that kind of stuff. And the price is up to an annual fee right now. Now, after I closed it, I get it was the holiday season and all that kind of stuff, and people who were away on holidays. I got a lot of messages, you know, people really asking, can you please open this? Can you extend the offer and that kind of stuff? And I've answered people in private too, but I'm still getting messages, can you join? Can you join? So I don't want to make this an extended promotion or pitch or anything like that. But what I'm going to do, starting today until Monday the 11th of January at midnight. I'm going to reopen. I'm going to still have that special offer. So if you want that, I'll put a link in the description below. It's not going to be the homepage. The homepage, the price stays up. So there's a special link that will still give you access to the lifetime access if you want it.